Hi, this is Daniel DiTuro. Have you wondered why supermarket fresh produce has little or no flavor or spoils within days of purchase? In this video, I'll share the definition of fresh produce, fresh versus frozen produce nutrients, why low prices may not save you money, and do consumers have a right to know how fresh is supermarket produce? Dictionaries define fresh foods as recently made or obtained, not canned, frozen, or otherwise preserved. In the U.S., the legal definition of fresh produce is fruits and vegetables that have not been processed in any manner. Notice that the legal definition of fresh produce does not include age. Unlike many countries where foods are made or harvested daily, most U.S. consumers buy fresh produce harvested weeks or months before. U.S. consumers expect seasonal produce year-round. It's no longer uncommon finding spoiled fresh produce on store shelves. The edible wax applied to these tomatoes to maintain freshness does not guarantee freshness. Then there's fresh produce that spoils within days of purchase. Unlike supermarket fresh produce that can be months old, these beets went from garden to jar in less than 2 hours. This orange was picked and eaten in less than 10 minutes. Not everyone can have a garden or fruit trees. Instead of fresh seasonal produce, urban supermarkets provide a variety of out-of-season imported produce. Produce harvested and stored for months have fewer nutrients. And that's in addition to its lower nutrition value from being harvested before they are ripe. A vine-ripened cucumber is more nutritious than cucumbers harvested and stored 9 months. Supermarket fresh produce is usually less nutritious than frozen produce. A common myth is that fresh produce is healthier than canned or frozen. Canned foods can have more flavor than fresh. The same with frozen foods. Frozen produce typically has more nutrients than fresh or canned. Unlike produce harvested before they are ripe to survive being shipped thousands of miles, frozen fruits and vegetables are harvested and processed at peak maturity. Compare the flavor of fresh supermarket fruit versus frozen. With frozen fruits, you sacrifice texture for flavor and nutrition. In many recipes, frozen fruit provides more flavor and nutrients. Some produce ripen after harvesting, like avocados, bananas, and pears. But their nutritional value decreases the longer they are stored before being eaten. With fresh produce, you have the advantages of firmer texture and in some cases lower cost. The advantages of frozen produce are better flavor, more nutritious, little or no preparation, and less waste. A common myth is that frozen produce costs more than fresh. Fresh produce usually has some waste, like stems, peels, and pits. Paying for the parts you discard increases the final cost. Most frozen produce is cleaned, cut up, and ready to use right out of the freezer. And with frozen produce, you use what you need, reducing the cost and waste. Most people believe they save money buying fresh produce, especially when on sale. Sale prices indicate the produce is either in season and abundant or past its prime, like these tomatoes. Notice the dried out stems and vines compared to truly fresh tomatoes. The quality of fresh produce sold by U.S. grocers has declined over the decades. Fresh garlic should not sprout before you get it home or within days or weeks of purchase. The same for sprouting onions. One reason for the decline is producers can get higher prices exporting high-quality produce. Restaurants also pay higher prices for high-quality produce. By comparison, Americans rank price above quality. Spoiled produce simply goes into the trash. In the end, low produce prices can cost you more than you think. As I've shared, advertising months-old produce as fresh is perfectly legal. These tomatoes may be months old and rotting, but they're not processed, therefore they are fresh. The same with these strawberries. Strawberry preserves are not fresh, but tasteless, moldy strawberries harvested months before are fresh. The fact stores use terms like farm fresh produce or farmer's market is no guarantee the produce went from field to store. They just have to meet the legal definition of not being processed in any manner. Deceptive? Perhaps, but again, perfectly legal. Would you buy fresh cucumbers knowing they were harvested 9 months ago? You may think twice if you're buying fresh produce, especially organic produce, believing they are more nutritious than frozen or canned. Growers and the politicians they support will oppose any legislation giving consumers the right to know harvest dates. After all, you can't have both low prices and high quality. When it comes to fresh produce, it's buyer beware. Please leave a comment if you have any questions about this video. Thank you for watching and healthy eating.